Welcome back to Tom Dave's Live. Today we have Blake Hupfer from Scottsdale, Arizona. How are you doing, Blake?
Hey Tom, I'm doing great today. Sun shining, loving it.
Oh man, I love it. I love Arizona. So, if you could please share to our viewers, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm originally from Portland, Oregon. Grew up there, and back in 2018, relocated to Arizona. Um, a little bit about me is I've always been an adventure sports enthusiast. Love to travel. Been lucky enough to have gone to a lot of different countries all over the world. So that's some of my passions and a little about me. My dad was in real estate, started in the mid '70s, and so I kind of grew up in the industry.
Wow, that's awesome. So, if you could share a couple of those experiences when you were traveling that come to mind.
Yeah, it all started. My dad took me to Europe during Y2K, and he goes, "Hey, if the world's gonna reset, we may as well be in a nice place to do it." So that's kind of what started the bug, and ever since I've traveled through Asia, gone to a lot of Europe, been to South America quite a number of times. My wife is actually from South America, so we go down there quite often now, and I love experiencing new cultures and learning different pieces about the world. So it's a driver for me, definitely.
Wow, well, that's awesome. I as well. I really love to travel and see all of the different cultures and all of the different lifestyles. It keeps us growing, and it keeps us aware of the world. So that's awesome. Now, if you could share your real estate story, what inspired you to get in real estate in the first place?
It was funny. My dad always said, he goes, "You're never going to get into real estate. You're never going to get into real estate." I went to school for design and advertising. So I still remember it was a Saturday night. I was living in Los Angeles, working for a PR firm down there, and I was driving home at 10 o'clock at night after an event, and it was gridlock traffic, 9 lanes deep, and we were stopped. And I remember calling my dad at 10 o'clock at night saying, "Hey Dad, how many years you got left in you in real estate? Could you use a partner up there?" And this is back up in Portland, Oregon. And he goes, "Well, what do you mean?" And I said, I told him where I was at. And I said, I'm getting pretty burnt out of LA, and I'm thinking about moving back to Portland, getting into real estate. So that's exactly what I did. And, worked with my dad for about 10 years and was fortunate enough. He built, 30 plus years of connections and business up there. So I really drafted off of him, and I was able to start off running, and really got my hands into a lot of stuff that typically you wouldn't get into at 3, 4, 5 years in the market. I've worked in land development. I've worked with builders, developers, new construction, historic homes, all over the place. I've even sold, dipped into commercial a little bit, and I've sold a few commercial pieces. So it's been a real adventure, and I'm very fortunate to have been able to work in a pretty full spectrum of the industry, which I really like.
Well, you're very humble. Can you share a little bit more about some of your leadership experiences and successes?
Yeah, so we moved. I moved my dad and our team over to a brokerage out of Portland, Oregon. That we were the 336th agents to move there, and they had a profit share model that we took part in, and they basically said, "Hey, if you send us good realtors, we'd be happy to pay you a referral fee for it." So we did that, and we helped a lot of agents make the move over, and they saved a lot of money. They got way better resources, and so over the course of about 10 years, we referred close to 200 people over to that brokerage, and helped it really grow from 336 up north of 1,200 agents. So it was
Wow.
it was a pretty fun experience to be involved in. I've also been fortunate enough to work in new agent training and help some new agents get started in the industry, which is a ton of fun. And while we were down here in Scottsdale, did a lot of, ran some of the office, worked with some of the development there. So just been very excited about being able. That's a passion of mine, is being able to really help agents, and that's something that I've always worked for.
Well, I love your energy. When we were up at Tahoe last week, I was talking to Don Yoko. Man, Blake is hungry, he's humble, and he's smart too. So that's amazing. And man, we're honored to have you at eXp Realty. But if you could share some of your thoughts and some of the reasons behind, I mean, you could have joined with your track record, your experience, your leadership, you could have joined any real estate company. What inspired you to join eXp Realty?
Well, Tom, it's funny you asked that. The beginning of last month, or beginning of August, excuse me, I got a call from the president of our company, and they said, you know what, we love you, we care about you, but we're closing our Arizona division. So I was in a place where I hadn't looked over the fence in about 10 years. I didn't really know what else was out there. I was pretty happy where I was at. And so rather than jumping from one burning ship to another, I decided to go out and really interview a lot of brokerages out there. And I was kind of surprised at what I found. There was a lot of stuff that just, I felt like I was going back into the 90s. It's really kind of what it felt like. Not a lot of new advancements. So I'd heard about eXp, and I'd heard a lot of things that a lot of realtors have heard, and I was a little reluctant to even start looking into them. But what I found, and I did do some digging and start looking, and what I found was really the complete opposite of what I'd heard. And there's such a huge sense of collaboration and connection, and I mean, Tom, there's so many people who just go out of their way to help each other. It's even this last week, I made so many great connections and so many new friends up in Tahoe. I'm really looking forward to it. And so, because that was really what I was looking for, was connection, collaboration, a sense of community, because real estate can get lonely if you're just out there on your own.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially right now with this changing right now, it's really a special moment in time. And I believe that you, as well as eXp, we've positioned ourselves perfectly with this market. And as you mentioned, we have the culture, we have the community, we have the collaboration, and we're having a lot of fun. So that's what it's all about. So that's amazing. Well, Blake, if anyone wants to reach out and if they want to get a hold of you, what's the best way?
Yeah, absolutely, Tom. I'm always happy to help. I think my information is down there on the bottom. My phone number is 602-596-5066, and you can reach me at blake@azdiggs.com. So blake@azdiggs.com, and my phone number is down there at the bottom. So Tom, thank you so much again. It's been a real fun time getting to know you and having me on your show.
Hey, well, I'm excited for more collaboration, connection, and more fun. So, hey, thanks again, Blake. Glad to have you. If any of you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to Blake or myself, and we're here to serve. Thanks again. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.